Dragonship, where we are the rising tide that lifts all ships here on the Dragonship. Welcome aboard, Davrick. How you doing today?
Good, man. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
I hear you. Fantastic, man. We confused a lot of your regular subscribers, man. Broadcasting to all channels today. We have an open line. We are at broadcast depth, broadcasting our pirate signal, our Viking pirate signal out there. And we're going to, today we're going to probably piss some people off. You're going to get pissed. Don't worry. This isn't for everybody. Everybody looks good, but everybody knows that your health. Without your health, you have nothing. So, guys, we're going to talk about if you think that, everybody looks the same and health isn't important, you better get some rose-colored glasses because we're going to talk about the body positive, right? And what this big push on body positivity is, and I think I understand some of it, and we're going to chop it up and we're going to have fun. As soon as we can get GL on here, this is his absolute favorite subject, being the esteemed whale hunter that he is, he really is really missing out here. So we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of body positivity. What do you guys think about this? Paul?
What do I think about body positivity? I think it's probably the worst possible thing that we could be pushing on anybody. It is such a we're literally dying out here. We have people dying of heart disease out here, and instead of trying to solve the problem, trying to get to the root cause, which is poor diet, lack of exercise, we're like, you know what? Let's just make everybody feel better. And there's people dying in in their 40s and 50s because they're fat. People are literally dying.
This might be a kind of a outcome of the environment right now, because you're right. What is the average weight? Davrick, do you know what the average weight of the American female is right now?
I don't. I have that stat. It's funny you said that because I was just doing a study on that, but I'm not like Ben Shapiro where I can recall it, right off the top of my head. I can look at it, but
no, that's okay. It's 170.6 pounds right now at an average height of 5'4", ages 18 to 260 years old. Do you know what it was, or at least close to what it was 35 years ago?
20 pounds lighter.
It was 126 pounds.
Woo.
That's a small child or two. So I understand that people want to feel good about themselves. And so there is a good component to body positivity. And I'll get to that later when we start looking at a couple of TikToks. I think there's something that can be conceptually gleaned here that you can use motivationally. But I think as an overall concept, when I was walking through Super Target not too long ago, it was really apparent that as the corporate giant they are, they were addressing their customer needs, which is 70% overweight in America. And that means more than 25 pounds overweight. But it's funny, they were only addressing it on the female side. And they were addressing it with their photographs and the models, mannequin. They call them mannequins, right? Yeah, mannequins. And they were addressing it probably from the 25 pounds to about the 75 pound level, maybe even closer to 100 with the actual mannequins. Now, I wasn't going to, you can get trouble for posting those things, but I took some pictures of it. And if you haven't seen a Super Target recently, as the good corporate neighbor Target is, they're addressing the larger population with
larger.
Yeah, that's what I said, right? Larger population. And it's very different, because as you turn the corner in a Super Target, you see the men's section. Now, knowing that nearly 70% of the population is overweight, 25 pounds or more. Now, to be fair, women are more overweight than men, but not by a whole lot. There isn't a single overweight male model being put on the pictures and the banners, none of that. And none of the mannequins were overweight. They were all either skinny or had the athletic build in the men's department. Now, like I said, this is really interesting So, and I'm using this to illustrate the story because I went and looked at the clothes. Now the clothes were bigger. There was a lot of bigger clothes. Double X, triple X, quadruple X, size 40 and up, 48 and up, pants, all that stuff was there, but it wasn't put on the mannequins and it wasn't put on the pictures. What do you think the reason for that is? There's an acceptance for the females to be of this size right now, and there's a huge push towards it, and you can see that in media. I don't see that for the men necessarily at all.
Because women are spending the money.
That's why. Women are spending the money, I think.
Especially at Target.
And so they know what they want to see and what's attractive to them.
Yeah, they're not pushing body positivity at Home Depot where the men are spending the money. You know what I mean?
But the other thing too is that the majority of men out there are dateless, right? Yeah. They're not dating women, and they're accepting. They're forced. The average man is forced to accept the current frame or the overweight of weight look of a woman. Okay, what I mean by that is that it's we, and I say we, not us, but men are accepting what they can get. They have no choice, right? And you have the passport bros. We've always talked about this. You've heard about this. Or you have guys going overseas. And it's kind of like, America is the most obese country in the world. Our portion size of foods are big. Pushing this body positivity thing in commercials. And what happens to the average dude is it's like, look, remember when we grew up, or some of us grew up, we had the Ford LTDs. Remember those big-ass cars? Yeah. The speedometer went all the way across the, I'm old, right? I'm an old guy. So those were what everybody had. And then it's like, that's what we accept. So when you don't have any options and you have one option, it's like, okay, that's normal. It becomes a normalized look for men, the average guy. And so then women get offended, right? It's the whole Lizzo effect. It's like, oh, Lizzo's beautiful. She's beautiful. And then if I say, well, oh, you kind of look like Lizzo, then they're offended. It's like, wait, why are you offended? Vanity Fair, all these Victoria's Secret, right? It's not a secret anymore. If you walk down through the mall, it's like, where'd the secret go? I mean, it's the whole picture is the woman. And if I say that's disgusting, then they get offended, right?
Yeah.
If visceral fat, some of these, I'm sure everybody works out, visceral fat is fat around the organs, which is very unhealthy. Our healthcare costs go up. Our, insurance, cost of medication, all this stuff goes over in America. And it's like, no, fat's beautiful. It's not beautiful. Even from the inside, it's unhealthy. And so what's happened is the average man in America is like, look, I either watch porn all day, order a real doll or an AI doll or play with myself, or it's like, hey, Bob's wife's 30 pounds overweight. Steve's wife, my neighbor's 30 pounds old. I'll get an overweight girl and I'll accept what I can get. Then you have the 10% of the men out there that are high value that go, hey, I can go find what I want. And then we're the bad guys. But women do not like to accept responsibility for their bad decisions.
It's like there's a double standard that women get to have preferences and men don't.
Right. And so for us, if I'm the average height in America, 5'9", but they'll still say that's short.
Wait. You're not even 6 feet tall. Why are we?
No, he's not allowed to talk.
I'm not either.
I don't even know why you guys are even talking. You guys haven't met the 6 foot club.
Right.
So, it doesn't have to be that, but here's what it's gotta be. You guys want to get on the Dragonship? 200 pounds plus equals adult male.
What would you say?
You got to be 200 pounds plus, body percent under 14.
There you go. I'm there. So,
You're in.
if they say you're short, and I'm the average height in America statistically, and I'm saying, okay, whatever. Let's say I am short for them. I accept that. I'm fine with that. I can roll with that. But if you called me fat and I was short and fat, I'd accept who I am. We can accept our standards and say, look, this is what the cards are dealt. I'm not a 10. I'm a 3. I'm short, fat, and bald. I'm not going to get a hot chick. Women have not accepted that, and they're in a delusional state where every woman thinks she's a 10. And I said, wait, what are your looks? I'm a 10. No, not your personal characteristics or your ability to be a good human being. I'm talking about looks. And they'll say they're 10 and they're 40 pounds overweight because of Lizzo, because of Victoria's Secret, because of Vanity Fair. And so right now in America, I'm telling you, like we know the stats, 2050, 50% of women are going to be single and childless. We are in a bad state of affairs where you have two things going on, two wars. You have, I'm sorry I'm going down this rabbit hole, but bear with me. You have the political, the alphabet kids, and the feminists against American men.
Got to have the bad guy if you want to get paid.
Yeah, so it's just it's crazy. I mean, remember Soul Train? You guys remember that show?
Oh, hell yeah.
You did the,
Hell yeah, we
dance.
watch it every Saturday.
Go watch an episode of Soul Train. And everybody looks like JJ from the show, right? All black guys had waists like this.
Yeah.
Skinny arms. There was no overweight people on there.
No.
Even the white guys, I say black is the majority of the people on there were black, right? But nobody was overweight.
Right.
Now look, and this is, and remember, when Soul Train came out, weightlifting wasn't just beginning to hit the United States with Arnold Schwarzenegger. But nobody's working out, but the guys were all skinny, right?
Yeah.
JJ from Good Times. And then you look at Soul, if they had a Soul Train, I don't even know if it's still on, everybody's big. You know, men start working out, right? But we have fast food, portion size, all the bad preservatives in the food. And as Americans, it's being accepted. And now you've got this false narrative that, hey, fat is beautiful.
Yeah, it's even worse than that. I mean, I don't want to get too far down into it, but I think it has its roots in Malthusian theory. But you know, we are under an environmental assault that really, I mean, for lack of better terms, are we 7 minutes in? Fucks us up, men and women, hormonally, because we have atrazine, we have all the other stuff, we have the phytoestrogens, the xenoestrogens that are under attack. And those aren't necessarily bad, but when they come at you like that, and they are testosterone suppressive in both men and women. They studied men, and now we're 50% down in the course of the last 50 years. It was just 45, but they added the additional 2 years now. Do you think women stayed the same? No, not at all. They're affected by this as well, and the progestins are high. And so, you know, the effects of a woman being low on testosterone is detrimental as well. And for a man, also sperm counts are down in 45 years, approaching nearly 40 to 50%. That's a big deal. And that's across all age ranges. Does that not tell you there is an environmental assault? Could it be from the food, the high fructose corn syrup, the GMO, all of those? It's a multi-factored thing here. We should not accept it. And the outgrowth of body positivity as it's framed today should actually not be something we should embrace.
Whoa.
Now we can acknowledge it.
Thor, you just gotta love them the way they are. Okay? Like, you have to love those girls just the way they are. Their hearts are as big as their butts.
Okay, but
Okay.
Mental, yeah. Listen, Jabroni. their hearts are as big as their butts. Now, you know, from a health aspect and from a social aspect, something is happening that is not good. It's a slow slide. So it should be, we should have some education on this. And what I'm thinking, instead of the good that comes out of body positivity, is the shift, not from body positivity movement per se, because I think there's something we're all going to judge. We're going to judge silently. You can't get away from that. We're human beings, but mental positivity is huge. And when I get to the TikToks today that Glenn's going to throw up on, there is, when we get to the last ones, there's something interesting there, because I've been in many gyms. I've trained NPC bikini competitors over the years. Glenn, you know, I've kind of been on the outskirts of being very healthy, conscious, very social, all those sort of things. And there's been a shift, and there's just the shift to be, it's okay to be as overweight as Tess Holiday, and then to broadcast that you are just as healthy. Man, I mean, I got to put my tinfoil hat on some of these, because we actually have some doctors that are coming out saying the same thing. Has anybody seen the health ministers for, you know?
Why are all the health ministers fat?
Look at the one from, what was it, Chicago or Detroit?
Belgium, United States.
Oh, yeah, Belgium, United States.
Don't we have like the tranny fat health advisor? Like, isn't the U.S. health advisor is not only fat but also a tranny?
Yeah,
That's
like
the Surgeon General.
where's the mental health awareness at in this one? You know, like,
We have
that
something
doesn't count.
called
That's
metabolic
not a part of
syndrome.
being the Surgeon General. They don't care about.
Oh, so you don't have to be cognitively there. Got it. Cool.
And you don't have to.
You don't have to be cognitively there to be the president these days.
Right. Right. Interesting thing is we're starting to see metabolic syndrome in people in their 20s, guys, and some even as low as their teens. You understand what metabolic syndrome is probably the worst thing that can attack you because it starts there, and then your AC1 is up too high, which is blood sugars. This starts to attack your body. You retain more fat. You release more leptin. You're more hungry, and you end up with type 2 diabetes. So now you're eternally plugged in to a healthcare system, and you're eternally plugged into the food system, and this cycle continues and continues, and you have to work to feed it, but you're never going to collect your Social Security because you won't live long enough to.
And that's really the grift of big pharma, right? They want to get people fat and unhealthy so that they could prescribe more drugs, like lipid drugs, right?
Right. Those are not necessarily good unless you have certain types of heart. Yes.
Yeah, it's like, so for instance, I've been doing the keto diet for a long time. Last year, when I was getting ready for my Tough Mudder, I actually went full carnivore to drop weight.
Oh, how'd you like that?
I did not like it.
Okay.
That just personal preference, though. I'm not going to say like don't do carnivore, right? But for me, I think fake Sterling's in the comments there, but
get rid of that Sterling. That's not Sterling.
That's not Sterling.
That's
they don't even have Sterling's avatar. Jesus, try harder.
Try harder,
fucking
Moose.
trolls. But no, my problem with carnivore for me was that I ended up having a severe mineral deficiency, and I guess you could fix that by eating more liver and stuff like that. But I fucking hate liver.
Oh, nose to tail, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I probably just didn't do it right or whatever. But I still do keto, right? I'm on keto to this day. And I went and got my blood test done with my doctor, and he's like, "Oh, your cholesterol level is like the highest we've ever seen. We want to put you on a heart drug or something." And I was like, "I'll pass, thank you."
Yep.
And they're like, "You should really reconsider because you could have a heart attack at any time." And I was like, "Well, what do my triglycerides look like?" "Oh, those are actually good." I was like, "Then don't fucking worry about it." Yeah,
it's really about particle size, and we've come to find out you're absolutely right. And there's a hereditary reason for some people to run that way. And all the hormones and the folded proteins in your body are dependent on those cholesterols. Your brain is made out of cholesterol.
Hey, Thor.
See, the thing about the lipid stuff though is if my body wasn't fat efficient because I'm purposefully doing the keto diet, then that might be a marker of a health issue. But because that's the way I eat, that's my diet, that should be expected. Higher cholesterol with a higher fat content diet is normal. It's your triglycerides you need to look at.
Well, you guys, I just want a question for you guys. You four guys, or the four of us on the panel. Who, thanks to Black Eyes, but who wants to take health advice from this?
I know. Oh, you're putting it up? Okay, I was gonna. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the definition of health now. This is who we need to take health advice from. This bitch is one Twinkie away from a heart attack or a stroke.
Well, she's on our thumbnail.
I mean,
is that her? Is that her on the thumbnail?
She is the thumbnail. There's no room for anything else.
She's not a thumbnail, guys. She's the big toenail.
And that's Belgium's, and then I just linked Quebec's. I just sent the link for the Quebec's health minister.
Grab it, Glenn.
I'm grabbing it right now.
Hey, thanks, Derek.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is an interesting dilemma because the way they're projecting this is to make it very, very normalized. It actually is a push towards consumerism, you see. It also makes people feel better to think, that way, and it induces cognitive blindness. There you go.
Wow.
This guy right here doesn't look like he lifts anything but his fork.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, he lifts that body, and believe it or not, that body has joint problems. It has that visceral fat on the inside, which all of us carry, which is not the greatest thing. It's very much out of control, and almost all of us due to what we eat and the hormones we suffer from. And that's a tough life to live, man. That's not good.
Yeah.
Oh, Black Ice, you want to comment on that? Because we're talking about cholesterol. And
the LDL.
I have had all of this before, and it's super important to address because you know what the number one drugs worldwide moneymakers are? It's cholesterol drugs.
Yeah, but that's not good. Cholesterol is good for you, correct?
Well,
A
bad
problem with
cholesterol isn't necessarily bad for either, unless you have heart disease and you got the sticky kind that calcifies.
Right. And so I was listening to these heart surgeons that have 20 years experience, both of them. They said that cholesterol is not why people have heart attacks. It's because of the inflammation from sugar.
Yes, that's that metabolic syndrome.
So because the cholesterol, they blamed it on cholesterol.
Mhm.
They try to blame it on it, and it's the big pharma, like you said, Thor. You didn't say it was big pharma, but if that's the number one selling drug,
It is.
right.
But here's the question though.
The statin drugs too. The problem with them is they cause side effects, which cause you to get more drugs to fix the side effect.
They're muscle wasting too.
Here's what comes down to it. Because I mean, yeah, we could break down the science of it and go to the health side, but let's just show like the real applicable advice, like for guys and women, right? So if we're told that we have to take the fat chicks, right? And I have a hat that says no fat chicks. All right. Ladies, I need all them hot girls to go out and bag them one of these.
Oh my God.
Good Jesus.
I can't unsee that.
Are they trying to push this? Because women aren't going to go for that.
And we talked about Target before Glenn came on about the difference in the two sections. Fully embraced in the female section, the male section, not at all. It was all athletic mannequins, the whole thing. But when you went and looked at the clothes, they weren't that.
Yeah, and it's just like,
Right.
when are we just going to come back from the delusion and just be like, okay, not only from a healthy standpoint is it good for you, because like if you have like if you're fat, that means your life expectancy is a lot less. So why would I, as from a male investment point of view, right? Why would I want to invest in a fat chick to have kids with when she may not live long enough to raise those fat kids that we have? Like that's just like a bad investment deal, right? It's not smart. So guys want women that are in healthy shape that could be able to raise kids, be healthy, right? That they don't have it. We can minimize the risk here in the long run. Women are not wanting to get with fat guys either. What does a fat guy show you? He's lazy. He doesn't have enough ambition. He doesn't care enough. So if he doesn't care enough about himself, he doesn't care about his health
discipline and the confidence to execute discipline.
Exactly. So like, even if you want to get away from the body shaming, stuff, it's like if for a woman, I have to live off this guy. Like this guy has to provide for me. I have to trust that this guy's going to provide for me, but he doesn't. I don't know how long he's going to be here. Maybe 5 years, 10 max at the rate that he's going. That's not a good bet for her. Why get in a relationship and have a kid with this guy? And then now I'm going to be a single mommy with a fat kid that nobody's want to get with me because I have a fat kid and they're going to think that's all my genes. Do you see what I'm saying? Does it make sense either way?
Well, it's kind of one-sided right now. You're right. It doesn't make sense either way. But right now it is definitely has a giant push because of, kind of wokeism projects this for the women and not for the men necessarily. Because, let's face it, a certain group of men are the enemy today, mostly masculine men, but they're still the most attractive. And so sales hasn't caught up to that in a place like Target. And most men are still overweight and they're not disciplined enough. And, the sad truth is all of us have manipulated our metabolism to be like we are right now. I mean, some of you guys I assume you guys are all in your 30s or some 40 guys.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm going to be 43 next month.
43. Are you 40?
Oh my God. I was born when they supposedly went to the moon.
Hey.
So you're 50.
It's okay, guys. It's okay.
You're 53. Okay.
I'm in my 30s.
Okay. I'm over 60. So no worries, man.
So we got 30, 40.
But Thor, thank you.
No
Thank you for
racism,
saying
but
that
black don't crack, brother. I mean, I'm facing the white boy battle. All right. So here we are over 60,
It's guys like Davrick that make life suck for women. And the reason is when I say this, I say this
what an
jokingly.
advantage you have though with women.
But here's the thing: I say this jokingly, and but it's true though, because for them, guys like Davrick, guys like Thor, guys like Paul and me, we're the enemy of them because we're telling them, no, you're not valued. We don't want you. And we're not telling guys that guys shouldn't want you. We're just telling them that we don't want you. And what that translates for women is that we're telling all the guys, no, you shouldn't want them either. Right. And that's why we are the enemy. We are public enemy number one in that case, because just because we say we don't want you, we're fit, we're in shape, we go to the gym, we care about our physical health and our appearance enough that when we get with a woman, we want that woman to compliment us, right? And what they're saying is that, oh, since these guys don't want us and they should take all of us, they're telling all the other guys that we shouldn't be picked. And I'm sorry, ladies, that's just your twisted version of it. But we're not telling guys not to pick you. We're just saying we don't like fat people.
Well, yeah. And well, there's reasons though. There's preference. There's health reasons. There's health markers, right? And there's status markers too. So, I mean, those three things together. And then, speak for yourself though. I mean, I love all women, but I will have you know this. My Viking ancestors were known as the greatest whale hunters the planet has ever seen. And there wouldn't be a narwhal or a beluga within miles of a dragon ship. Scared to death.
I think we all should get my hat. I'm sending you guys all the hat.
I mean, think of what a stud you had to be on, a 30-foot vessel facing a 100-foot behemoth with a little bitty spear. That's some masculine shit right there, man. You're gonna put it all on the line. That thing could sink you in the middle of this vast ocean. Holy crap!
I mean, I think like T-Rash. T-Rash is in the chat. He's a good looking dude, right? He's in shape.
Yeah.
T-Rash, why aren't you bagging the whales?
Well, he had some fun, guys. I mean, he's having some fun with me too.
I know.
He knows the savage math.
But I'm just saying, it's just like, but why? It's not even just what we're saying. It's we are innately attracted to certain things in a woman.
Youth.
And I'm sorry, having a Buddha belly or having booty do when your stomach sticks out further than your booty do is not attractive.
We call that gunt.
Yeah.
Like
fupa.
Well, nature's pretty harsh on the gals. I'm gonna give them a little, in not the fact that they have to do the body positivity. They're trying to subvert nature in a way for consumerism and make themselves feel better. And they're spending money to do this, and to make each other feel better. Women do. They're communitarian. They want to make each other feel better about themselves. The reality is the ugly part of this is that the health is so damaged that it's quite sad. It's a long and slow genocide to be that much overweight.
And the other thing, I'm making excuses for people here, but the way we work as a society now, a lot of people are in the behind the computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no activity versus the days before. People are telecommuting, they're on the computer, the carbs are high, and now with the whole body positivity thing. For women, that equates to a disaster, because back before there was computers, I mean, we were more active. Even our children, my kids these days, it's like, we remember us go outside, don't come back till it's dark, right? We were in the woods and we had a secret camp with the Playboy magazines. Everybody hid, out in the fort in the woods, or we were outside and your mom said, "Hey, come in for lunch," and you go back outside all day. Now the kids are inside all day on their phones. They're on the computers. And I'm going to throw my son under the bus here. He's 20 years old. He don't even want to get his driver's license. When we were 15, we were stealing our sister's car when she went out on, when the family was gone. We'd take the car and go around the driveway down the street. 16 got our license. So today's kids, today's children, today's adults, everything is digital. Now they got these digital worlds that they live in with their visual goggles that they put on, and they're in this different dimension. Nobody is moving. I sit at my desk most of the day. I'm like, God, I got to do, and I hate cardio. Nobody likes cardio, right?
Look, there's a scripture in the Bible that says only
Depends
a
on how
fool-
you
only
I like
a foolish
cardio.
man-
All your exception to the rule, okay?
only
I
a
didn't used to
foolish
like
man-
it. It grew on me. Yeah.
Listen, the Bible says only a foolish man runs when no one's chasing him. And I'm not Paul Bauer, so I ain't no fool.
Paul doesn't count, man.
Some of us use bedroom fun for our cardio.
Heck yeah.
anytime
Hey,
you-
like-
great.
I do that too. Yeah.
But
I
here's the
stopped
question.
planking. I don't want to plank anymore. Let her do the work.
Like, here's the question though. Like, isn't it all sign language? I mean, isn't this all sign language?
It
Like,
really
body
is.
positivity is all sign language. Because like this is not sexy. There's nothing sexy about this. But we're getting the sign language to tell us that we gotta love that. What's there to love?
So here's the thing. And I want to ask BI about this because I know this is sensitive, but I see some similarities with like on with Pearl's show when she had some folks on there using the same rhetoric that the civil rights movement made in this fat positivity, fat acceptance thing, where they're equating some of the egregious racism that occurred in our past to how they're being treated today by individuals, corporations, and governments, which that is a delusion that I just can't see. I mean, at all. Yet, this is part of that movement. What do you think about that, BI? Well, how they're equating this movement kind of to the civil rights type of movement.
Yeah, I mean, I just wrote this big article on LinkedIn. It probably ruined my whole revenue stream in corporate America.
Oh, no.
Everything is about DEI, right?
Oh, yes. Oh,
Diversity, employment, inclusion. But
Yeah.
they're throwing that under it as well. And ESG is the company that gives a credit rating to all these woke companies that gives them funding from woke companies. And if their DEI score is too low, they're not going to get funding. So now, versus even last year. Okay. Now, just so you know my background,
let's define that before you go on for our viewers that don't know. There's DEI is diversity,
diversity, employment, inclusion. Okay.
Yes, diversity, inclusion, or diversity, equity, and inclusion is a score, and then the ESG is environmental, social governance. Right. And if you're talking to entertainment and movie, there's something called a Bechtel score too that fits those two models, and that has to be met to get funding. Anyway, go ahead.
And so it's basically an affirmative action for employers versus college, which they just struck down affirmative action for being unconstitutional. Right on. Okay, so what's happening now? Last year, just so you know my background, since 1995, I've been in the technical corporate America space for 28 years. What do? I am a glorified senior technical recruiter. Now, I took it to a new level. I'm specialized in certain segments. I also do executive. So I've been a recruiter since 1995. In the last year and a half, now they created all these roles called DEI, director of DEI. This is DEI, this and this. So here's the problem. If you're a white heterosexual male, your probability of getting a job right now is very low, because when you fill out an application, it's asking you, I'm going down a different rabbit hole, but this has to go with body positivity as well.
That's okay. It is linked. It is linked.
So when I apply for, I'm a consultant, so I run my own agency. It's a S corporation, and I work with all the startup companies. The big companies are the challenge. So now I'm going to fill out a requirement to be a 1099. And they say, okay, what's your race? Now we already got an issue. Well, I'm black and white, so I check both of them. And they say, how do you want to be identified? And they give you a list. You want to be called a rabbit, an egg, a frog, they, them, there is, cisgender, this. And then it says, what's your gender? So here's what happens. Because you don't fit the score, you don't fit the mold, you're probably not even going to get an interview.
Yes, I have experience with it too. So you're like a third-party contractor that assists these smaller companies that can't have their own staff meet these regulatory requirements, or I should say guidelines, because they're not actually regulatory, right? But they're encouraging guidelines. Like the state of California does this, and they're called guidelines, and nobody goes against it. They call it, oh, it's state law. It's not law. It's not regulation. It's guidelines they've been putting out.
Yeah,
it's pretty wild.
Yeah, so all these companies that need like,
they enforce it through funding. Nobody gets loans unless you meet it. So in a way, this is pretty sinister in a lot of ways.
It's horrible, because then it's like, okay, then let's say they bring me on. Now, I don't work with the Fortune 50 companies anymore because there's too much bureaucracy and politics. So the startups that are one billionaire, and I can't say his name, but he's like, we need 2 iPhone hackers so they can protect my iPhones and my MacBooks. I found them, right? These guys, government can't hack iPhones, but these guys did it in 15 and 30 minutes. They hired them from me. No problems because there's no DEI issues.
Right.
I go to another company and they're like, okay, we need somebody that's good with diversity recruiting. So I'm on a phone with a person or on a Zoom call. I can't ask them if they're gay, straight, transgender, or other. I can't ask you if you're black, white, gray, purple, yellow. I have to figure out how to find this person. But here's the worst part about all this. And it also goes into obesity because people that are obese also are favored by the people that are doing the recruiting.
Yes.
80 to 90% of the recruiters out there are feminists.
Yep.
Or they're super liberal or socialist. And they're all about, the way off in the ocean, the left side. Hey, all of us right now, if we were to interview with a recruiter in corporate America, and I say the tech space because the tech space is super socialist.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about
America's following along suit because
right, but I'm talking about the Honeywell Corporation or the old suits, the old brick and mortar.
Right.
They're going to look at us in an interview and they're immediately going to disqualify us by the way we look.
No, not me. Because you know what I identify if I have to go back to the corporate world? My name is Thaddeus. I'm a black transgender woman. Okay. And I'm Hindu.
Yeah, and you'll put your earrings in.
So
you know what the problem with this whole hiring for diversity
DI makes a super interesting point because
but to my point, so now what happens is we're being discriminated for being masculine men. There it is. Everything that the socialists are doing are anti-pro-life. Everything they push is anti-pro-life. And ESG is funded by George Soros Corporation.
Yes, I completely agree. We're gonna have to. I need to come on. We need to talk.
Look what happened to the Ocean Gate.
You're very educated on it. Yeah, that's a good example too.
But like
they wanted to hire for diversity instead of hiring 50 uninspiring white guys that knew how to do the job. And
50-year-old, yeah.
Well, I mean, we could just play the game. Play the game. Hey, you know what? I'm sorry. Every 3 weeks, I need to have menstruation days off because I'm a transgender black man.
I have witnessed that.
And you know what? And you know what? I believe in unicorns, and I need the month of June off because me and my people we have to go streaking and do parades. So
streaking,
yeah, like we have to get naked and talk to your kids. So if you guys don't like me, you guys are racist and prejudiced and transphobic.
You see, that's the argument with I was getting at. That's the ugly side of the body positivity is to equate it with civil rights.
Mm-hmm.
And sign language. It all goes back to sign language.
Well, they're asking for special medical care. They're asking to be able to sue for the exercise seats in a plane.
Yep, 3 seats on a plane, and we got to
pay for them. Yes, this is it. There's a Marxist push on that side.
Well, you know what? They should make planes bigger for us fat people who identify as small people, and give us our own sippy cups too.
Yeah. So
my own sippy cup that says fat and black and we rule.
Yeah. It's going to be a hard push. I think this is here with us for a while because the disease states are going to have to play out and that's going to be not fun to watch. The cognitive blindness that goes with this is pretty damn severe. I will say this though, on the good side of body positivity is it lets guys like us bring attention to others. Men staying away from these gals because of preference is going to be very difficult. Men want access. And when the access is really limited and that's all you got, you go with. So, and
that's
a tough thing.
Now, Dev, you and I have shared some more stories. Okay. From a defense standpoint, how does this body positivity affect our military?
Oh, physically. Yeah.
Yeah. From a physical standpoint. How does it affect our military?
There's still standards in the military though. There's still
they have loosened up. And being a fitness specialist, when I was after the Air Force, and I was a contractor for the Navy as a fitness specialist, My job was to keep you sea biscuits in shape, right?
That's a fucking challenging job too.
Squid, you don't have to take that, Squid.
Yeah.
No,
But-
I'm not even gonna lie. Being out to sea, like,
I mean,
we
for
were
a guy that
losing
wears
fucking-
darts and farts, come on.
But like, no, Dad was in Panama. Like, Dad, like, you know, tell me this: how many fat guys did you have in your platoon?
Dude.
None.
I mean, the special forces people were training all the time. You didn't have time to eat. You didn't have. I mean, you were always. You know, you have we call them BDUs back then, battle dress uniforms
Right.
on, right? Fatigues. You're constantly at rucksacks. You're constantly in the heat. You're constantly sweating. You're constantly moving. I mean, we had abs all the way down to our ankles. You know, we had 7%, 4% body fat, and we could go and eat as much bad food as we could, and we'd burn it off.
And you weren't even competing.
No, I was probably the leanest I ever was, right? So, but it goes past that. It's the psyops effects, right? Like if I go to combat and I see a bunch of overweight people, it actually forces me to be more secure in my situation, that I have a better advantage to win. Like, for example, we know this because I fought, right? So if I get a big bodybuilder in the gym that's 260, that's just massive, he wants to fight, I know that after 1 minute, he's gassed out. I just got to dance around him for about a minute outside, and he's going to lose.
That's exactly how I'm
want
going to
to
beat this
hit
jabroni at Summer Smash.
That's how you're gonna lose. Because I last.
Dude, my cardio is on point, bro.
Hey, so
Yeah.
you're telling me you're gonna run around? You're gonna run away from me the whole time?
No,
That's
no,
cute.
I'm
Dance around
talking
till you
about
fucking
bobbing. I'm
gassed
talking about
up.
bobbing and weaving, right? Doing the shuffle.
Fucking,
Ollie
I'm
shuffle.
gonna have you swinging. I'm just gonna fucking duck and move.
But my point is this: if I go to combat and I see a bunch of transgender people, or I see a bunch of overweight people, gay men, I'm not intimidated. I'm not intimidated. Like you showed that picture of the overweight black guy that was on before, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting because the theory, and it's happened on whatever podcast. These overweight black guys that are beta or overweight men that are beta are becoming gay because they can't get any women.
Mm-hmm.
And men are accepting overweight women. And some of these men I call it alpha, beta, omega. I don't like this sigma crap. This is just me. You got alpha men, you got beta men, and you got omega men, right? Omega is the bottom, the runt.
Yeah.
These are the guys that are so soft. They're yes, dear, whatever, right? It's Milton in the basement at Office Space with the bug spray, right? And so there are guys that are like, well, I can't get any women, but he kind of looks like a woman and it's a guy and he's overweight. I'll date him or I'll have sex with him. Right?
And they go transgender.
There you go.
What's the new Zoomers theory? As long as the balls don't touch, is that what it was? Not gay.
As long as you don't make eye contact.
Oh, I got that. Oh, Jesus. No, it's a good point, guys. I want to get to something. I know this is Glenn's favorite part of the show, but let's go ahead and just do some housekeeping, guys. I want to recognize some of the really good listeners and fans out there. Welcome you guys from Black Ice. I appreciate that. We're going out on his stream. Like, subscribe, and share his stream. Also, we got Paul, come on, man, podcast, like, share, and super chat over there. Also, we got a GL, the Mr. Glenn Lawrence, on the ground behind enemy lines, doing God's work. And God's work, I mean, it's Odin and Thor's work. Behind enemy lines. So thank you. Please like and subscribe for Mr. GL and of course RP Thor. Appreciate that. Any like, subscribe, and super chats will be responded to, as well as channel memberships. I run a channel membership. It's the lowest end. You get behind the scenes, you get special stuff. Heck, we even put a chapter of my upcoming book, A Dominant Masculine Presence, which we got a clue Davrick into, because I think he'll like that way better than that alpha, beta, gamma, sigma crap. A little different take on that theory. I think you'll really like it. So with that, you guys, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a Sigma male. Okay, I'm Sigma all day.
We're gonna do.
I don't care what Davrick says. Sigmas rule the world, Davrick. Okay,
Seems
We
like it
rule
on
the
YouTube,
world.
right? So I'm gonna go ahead and add to the stream, guys, and we're gonna get
Around skinny.
I know that we've all been dunking on this girl, rightfully so, for the past 24 hours, but I've been thinking a lot about what she said regarding perception of thinness, and I think she used it wrong, but
now this is important, guys. This is just TikTok stuff that I picked up because I want to comment. There is good There's bad and there's ugly here. So I think we can really complete this conversation by listening to this. If Glenn can, hold down his breakfast.
I also think she was kind of onto something. When we talk about fatness and the fatness spectrum, we focus primarily on sizes because sizes are a really good indicator of what things you have access to. Clothes, seating, etc. But what that leaves out is things like body shape and face shape, which is why in film and TV, you often get people who are actually thin playing fat roles because they have a more round face shape or they carry their weight in their stomach and have big boobs. And I think that that is something that we can refer to as like perceived fatness. And on the flip side, plus size models who have a very flat stomach and skinny face.
So there you go. There's a little bit of that push towards a civil. So, and we'll continue. Listen to this one.
Don't get me wrong, this looks delicious, but if you're trying to lose weight, this isn't it.
No one asked you inside out dad reject. The only person who brought up weight loss was you. I went on that person's page. Didn't say anything about that, just wanted to share an avocado toast recipe. So maybe you should look internally why you felt the need to bring that up. Additionally, in his comments, he said that people in these comments have clearly never tracked calories before. Did you forget that the diet industry is a $70 billion industry? You really think that no one's ever done that before? You think you're the only one? Do you think you're special? Aw.
Okay.
Nasty need to be right. Oh my goodness. All he was saying was, if you think you're going to lose weight with that kind of no calorie deficit, as we all know, ding dong, you're wrong.
Well, there's this whole thing when it comes to food that it's a push for it's like a halo of health, they call it, right? Have you ever heard of that term, that a halo of health?
Yes.
Yeah, if you watch Super Size Me 2, they talk about that, how ideas like avocado toast being, healthy health food is good for you. It makes you feel like you're doing something good for yourself, but you're not losing any weight. You're not, actually eating healthy, not with the toast anyway, in my opinion. But
she took it personally. You noticed, and that's part of the part that I wanted to show is that is kind of the bad part. The ugly part's the health, but the bad part is conversationally. Here's a need to be right and a personal attack and assumption that he was speaking right to her because he was this handsome guy. Mm-hmm. And shame on him because honest to God, look at her. And, she just wanted a recipe for
just
toast.
Look at her.
And because he said these are higher calories and you're not going to lose weight on this, how dare he? I'm going to make a video about this. That's the part that's really, I feel is bad. Now, on the flip side, it's good because we can see what this is doing. Here we go.
You must be new to the concept of body positivity. And yes, I call myself a fairy fat mother because that's what I am. I am here to help and uplift and help find people outfits and help people feel better about themselves and get themselves to the ball looking fabulous according to their own standards and nobody else's, which is pretty fucking body positive to me. You must have gotten yourself confused with the whitewashed, thin washed version of body positivity, which is not the original reason behind body
Chick with the
positivity.
nails, man, just drive me
do a
nuts
quick
on
Google
these
because I'm not going to educate you. I'm sick and I'm tired. But you're embarrassing yourself.
It feels over reels, man.
Why does she have
She's the fairy fat mother.
Why does she have a bull ring on her nose?
How you feel about this?
I'm not a fan. I'm not.
Me neither.
Hey,
I know Coco's. I know your girl's
chick. On a hot chick, that's how you get her to bring your ass over here, girl.
Oh man.
Yeah, everyone has their preferences.
Hey, but you know something else I noticed? I was talking to a friend about this.
Yeah.
Do you ever notice? That's funny. It reminds me of Saturday Night Live. Oh no, that was the other guy. You ever wonder why? What was that on CNN? 60 Minutes. What was that guy's name? Help me out. The you ever wonder why thing. Thor, you remember him?
Which
Andy
one?
Rooney. Andy Rooney.
Andy Rooney.
Oh yeah.
That guy.
You ever wonder why all the fat women that do this are?
You ever wonder why?
Yeah, they're from the NATO westernized culture. She was probably Australian accent, but. Well, I was telling a guy this. He's like, if you look at all the societies that are very westernized, and this is another problem, India is starting to get like this.
Yeah.
Because of the IT technology space, because a lot of IT people come from India. But the women are starting to turn masculine. They're starting to turn feminine. But it's always the Western cultures. Canada, Australia, Britain or UK, United States. When you start getting into the Latin, Asian communities or Eastern Bloc European countries, the women are the complete opposite. They don't do this stuff. They're
Right.
not doing this. It's only in the U.S. based or Westernized cultures that you see this.
That's true. It's a little bit too much past the line. I agree. Watch this one. We're going to get into this. There's just a couple more, but yeah, this is just to illustrate what's going on. They're making videos. She's flipping you off because, you know, look at how good, but that's how she really is. You know, same thing.
From
Here's one
fat
Very
person to whoever's listening. I don't subscribe to the health at every size movement. I don't subscribe to any of that. I do subscribe to, I guess, a branch of the body positivity movement where, you know, everybody should be body positive. Everyone should love themselves. Everyone should accept themselves as they are, being beautiful, because everyone is beautiful. What I cannot subscribe to is this whole idea that you can be healthy at every size. You cannot be healthy at every size. It's scientifically proven to not be possible. You cannot tell me someone like Eugenia Cooney is healthy. She's not. Just like you can't tell me that someone like Tess Holliday and Amberlynn Reed and Chantal, aka Foodie Beauty, are healthy. They're no.
She wants it both ways, gentlemen.
But
You know, the whole thing.
You can't abscond from your accountability and say I'm beautiful. Everybody's beautiful. You can say everybody has that potential to be that way, but there's a part of facing your demons and acknowledging them. If you want to be healthy, and you're just ignoring that, never facing the actual fact.
And that's the real problem with the
Yes.
body positivity movement is it enables these people. It says, no, you need to accept yourself however you are right now.
Yes.
Well, that's never going to make you change. That's never going to give you the ambition to change, you know? And like I say all this stuff because I used to be a fat fuck. You guys have seen pictures, you know? But I body shamed myself. I'd look in the mirror and go, God damn, you are a fat fuck, dude. Like, you look like shit. You need, and I felt terrible about it. And so instead of saying, you know what, I'm just going to accept it. I'm going to be happy with the way I look now. I said, no, I'm not fucking happy. Yep. I'm going to do something about this.
Yep.
Right. But also the other thing that you've noticed that what they're saying is they're conflating themselves as a human being.
Yes, that's right.
And they say, look, we're all beautiful in God's eyes, right? We're all human. And so what happens is, I see this a lot with women. How do you rate yourself? Remember, men are looking at women as a sex object, visual. We're looking at them, and women always say, well, I'm a 10. I got good heart. I got good characteristics. They're conflating the two between them as a human being, as a person, versus their looks. And that woman,
human value is not looks, right?
Right. She just said it. She's like, I can't remember exactly what she said, but something she said made me think about what she was saying in terms of, you know, we're all beautiful. Yeah, everyone's beautiful. We're talking about your looks, not your other qualities as a human being, right? And so they always conflate the two. And when I see Pearl's show, I told Pearl when she was on my show, I said, look, I got to get on your show because these women will say that and nobody says anything. I'm like, wait a minute. We're all 10. We're all God's creatures. We're all beautiful. Now,
human value.
Your visual looks, and they say, well, that's subjective. No, it's objective. If you have a beauty contest, everybody's going to vote for the best looking woman. That's not subjective. That's objective, right? And so this woman was a perfect example. She conflates the two.
Yeah, and I would make that argument too, BI, because, you know, this is part of what women do, and they played into it with this movement and the woke movement, is they can hold two different perspectives at the same time. But the real problem with that is she's saying you can't be healthy at any size, but everybody's beautiful on the inside and the outside. Those cannot go together. Anybody see what happens when you have the diabetic circulatory neuropathy in your feet when they start to decay and rot on your body and they have to saw it off? That's not pretty on the inside either. That is not beautiful on the inside. So it's not beautiful on the outside. It's a terrible thing. So you have to come to the realization. But women are very good at holding both those positions because, you know, you just never know.
You mean the cognitive dissonance?
That is definitely a severe one. And this whole idea that human value is tied directly to your SMV for women, and that's why they answer the questions, that they have real struggle with answering that question because, you know, facing it is they don't want to admit it, but facing their primary agency is their sexuality, which in order to be, to be that has to be,
they want to convince you that like,
so that is my human value. When we all know in reality, that is not their human value.
Well, they want to convince you, right? They're like, look, I'm a 10. Oh, you're a 10. And this is like Rolo asked this question and asked this Vegas on Thursday. He's like, girls, rate yourself. And the girls, I'm a 10. I'm a 10. So you have no room for improvement whatsoever.
Right.
None. Well, no. I could be a better cook. So then you're not a 10. Ladies, you're not a 10. You're a work in progress to a 10. If you're putting in the work,
Oh. Yeah. And they equate all the other values with sexual market value.
Well, they try to inflate that value to seem it's more important than the sexual market value.
Yeah. That is the ugly side, in my opinion. I want to look at the good side. Take a look at this gal. She's overweight, maybe fits that 25 to 45 pound category, but there's something in here that struck me. Take a look.
Chicks like that are cool.
Being a girl is fucking.
So
I was just gonna say, chicks like that are cool. Chicks that maybe they did let themselves go a little bit and they realized it and they decided to take some fucking action and do something about it.
Yes,
that's awesome. I actually like a chick that has heart like that.
I wanted to tell that, and I wanted to speak to because believe it or not, you guys are going to find this funny, but in my membership, it's 60 to 80% women. My viewership is like 99% men, but that is super amazing because when she looked at herself, she had an honest look and she knew she had work to do. Mm-hmm. I've trained so many women like that. And to see them in there, I would always go out of my way because they do need external validation because that's not easy place for a woman to arrive at because she's had to disassociate her, her human value with that. And you combine that with some sexual energy, even though she was fat and overweight and not that pretty, and she understood how to use her primary agency. I don't care what you say. That chick's hot as fuck at that point because she understands what it takes and how it takes to project that. And if women did understand that, then you would be talking a whole different ball game because men will accept that. They'll accept that. No problem with that kind of energy and that kind of drive and discipline of honesty.
So the other point I want to add to this story is that where she was before, she would still get DMs. She would still get asked out. She would still have access to men.
Yep.
This is the issue because those guys are they that's all they can get.
That's it.
And so what you said, the attractive thing about her, what I liked is that she did it for herself. She's like, okay, wait a minute. Because there's some girls like, it doesn't matter. I can still get guys.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? It's the irony. It's like, oh my God.
Think about that for a minute though.
That's what makes her better.
Right.
Average guy, and you want a wife and childrenless, maybe not even wife, but you want a mate that can competently handle children. Which one? The one that says, fuck it, I am good who I am. My kids will all get the same trophies. It doesn't matter my weight. You take me, accept me as I am. She's going to teach your children that. I can get men anytime I want, sliding into my DMs. Or she looked at herself in the mirror. Do you think she's going to let her kids slide?
No.
You think she's going to set her kids up for success or failure?
She's going to set her kids up for success. And you know what? Here's the problem with men, though. See, men are adopting this whole body positivity thing too. And then what they're and then they're getting all sad when they're going black pill. So I'm going to share the screen. So when I was this, Back then, they didn't want me. All right.
That's how you're going to show up to Summer Smash, right?
No. Right. Then.
Now he's been training. I would give him his credit. He's been
gas tank for a sex machine.
And then hold on. Then I get to this, and it's like, where did it go?
He became a son of Thor.
Look at that. I make a decision. I made a decision. I said, you know what? I want better in my life. I want to have a better life. I put in the fucking work to get there. Okay? No one's going to accept you as you are if you don't give a shit.
Took the action, brother.
And see, not enough guys want to do this. So what they do, they bitch about looks maxing. They bitch about, getting in shape. Why should I have to? You got lazy ass guys jumping on this body positivity wagon, thinking that it's going to be able to get them laid. No, all it's going to do is going to make you bitter, go into the black pill, and then you're going to end up fucking a tranny. All right? That's what's going to end up happening.
Yep. Hey, you know what? Special shout out to one of my girls. Thank you. I appreciate you as one of our members of RP Thor. And she has been training like crazy. Hats off to you, Star. Love your progress. Keep it up.
And like Black Guys will tell you, me and Black Guys go to the gym. We meet up at the gym now. Since I moved to Vegas,
I need to drive my Harley out there just for a workout.
But Davik, how many girls in Vegas do we see, overweight girls, walking around in I don't even want to finish the sentence.
What?
Your mic's muted.
Dad, you're muted. BI, your mic's muted.
Davik, your mic's muted. How many girls do we see in the most shortest clothing? And it's just like it's like Lizzo all over the place.
Yeah, well, you see more of that in Washington State than Vegas, but yeah.
Y'all need to come out to Western Slope. We got cows out here.
Where are you at, Paul? Where do you live?
I'm about an hour outside of Grand Junction, Colorado.
Oh yeah, well, Colorado,
there's some
Washington, Oregon
girls out here. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
we were at the ball game last night, and Nurse Chicks just walking around. She's like, "All the chicks here are fat." I was like,
"But see, the thing is, like, here's the difference."
Someday Glenn will grow up and be a Norse god.
Like, here's the difference, though, right? Paul, you were fat too.
I was, yeah.
And you said, "Fuck this. I'm going to make a change. Don't throw a pity party for me. We're not going to do a fucking campaign and tell hot chicks to fuck fat guys and put us all over the magazine. Yeah. We're going to say, you know what? We're going to level the fuck up." Yeah. And that's the problem with this generation right now is that they don't want to level the fuck up. They listen to their mommy tell you people are going to love you the way you are. Let me tell you something. Your mom fucking lied to you. All right. She's the only woman that's going to love you the way you are. All right. No one else will. And society doesn't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you unless they see what value you could bring to the community. So if you don't bring no value, you are no value.
Sir.
Like what you were saying before, Glenn, when you showed your when you were heavy, you're like, women didn't want me then. When I got divorced, and I do think that this contributed to my divorce, I was overweight. I was about 50 pounds overweight, and I ended up back on the dating circuit because my wife decided she didn't want to be with me anymore. And I'm back on the dating circuit. I was fat as hell, and I floundered, man. I could not get a date. And like the chicks I went out with were terrible. And I finally just sort of like fell into a relationship with a chick that I think had a little bit of a chubby, she was a little bit of a chubby chaser because I think she just wanted to be lazy and be chubby herself. And it was about, maybe a year into that relationship that I decided, I don't want to be fat anymore. And I decided to get healthy again. And what I found in that relationship was as I was getting thinner, as I was getting more cut, as I was getting more lean, she was getting offended by it, because she wanted to let herself go. And she was like, "Oh, why do you have to work out all the time and all this stuff? Try to do the extra scoop of rice, extra scoop of rice shit." And I just wouldn't do it. I just would eat it. And then we ended up breaking up, and I ended up back on the dating circuit fit, and I was getting dates like that. It was night and day. And I can't tell guys out there, more, right? Like I really try to preach this. You will see a significant difference if you get in shape.
Yeah.
Significant difference.
Absolutely. And I preach that to men all the time, Paul. And your story, Glenn's story is amazing. I just love to hear more about Davik. His is amazing. He's got I didn't expect him to be that old, an old man like me, but
he looks like a young buck. Look at this shit, man. He's older than me, and I got all.
No, hey! I cheat, and you know what? I got look. I got the spray bottle from L'Oreal. I spray my beard in the morning, and everybody makes fun of me. I'm like, well, you color your hair, you put fake eyelashes on, you tan, right? You put makeup on. So I got wisdom highlights. I just hide them.
This is a little
shave my head, you know.
This little white spot's a secret. So
no, you want to know something funny? When there was COVID, the pandemic, when that came out, I was in Seattle, and this is when Seattle like locked you down, like you were like they almost had a guy outside with a padlock on your door, and my beard went almost white, like it's gray.
Yeah,
but I color it. So what, you know? But what?
Yeah,
I'm not ready to show my wisdom highlights yet.
I'll tell you guys, this is easy to do. It's just a style thing. You just take a little pinch of Vagisil every night. Put that right there. Anyway, guys, we got about 10 or 15 minutes. I want to get your thoughts on this because you're very experienced, particularly you, Devrick, and in fact, all of you. This is coming from a girl, her thoughts, and she's using a man's voice. I found it interesting. In some ways, it plays into the thought process. So I want to get your take on this.
If you don't have an ass, you'll get made fun of because you're flat. But if you have one, don't show it off because then you're an asshole. If you don't have boobs, people will make fun of you. If you have boobs, don't bring attention to them because then you're a slut. If you're too short, wear heels. If you're taller than guys, it's awkward. If you're skinny, you're anorexic and you need to eat. If you're fat, you're obese and need to go on a diet. Because no one likes fat girls. If you never had a boyfriend, you're a lesbian. But if you've had more than one, you're a thought. If you have periods, it's gross. But if you haven't, you're not mature. If you lose your virginity, you're a whore. But if you haven't, you're scared. If you don't send nudes, you get blocked. But if you do, you get exposed and labeled for it. And guys wonder why girls are so insecure. Open your fucking eyes.
So
that was some white knight shit.
That made perfect logical sense. I don't even know what the contradiction is.
It's somebody that's bored that has way too much time on their hands. I mean, like, what do you say to that?
This is the hamster wheel. It's the hamster wheel.
You can be attractive, nice curves and everything. You got your gym clothes on, right? But like my girl's trainer, her coach, right? My girl competes, and there's this other girl that came in the gym, and I know her from another gym, and she's constantly showing off. She'll go over, you'll be doing dumbbell curls, and she'll get in front of you and do bent over dumbbell rows, right in front of you. Yeah. There's a point at which you go, okay, you're trying way too hard. You know, I told this to Glenn the other day. Cinderella took off. Cinderella lost one shoe, took it off, lost one shoe or whatever. She got a date, got a man. These women take all their clothes off and can't keep a man. Right. And when you're younger, let's all admit it. When we're younger, we were like, 18 years old, we walk around like this 24/7. That's all you thought about every 2 seconds was sex.
Wait. Speak for yourself, David.
Okay. I'll speak for myself.
We're still doing that.
Like that.
Tiger doesn't count. No.
Like this.
But here, the point is that you as a young guy, everything's about sex. As you get older and mature, you're like, look, I've been with the strippers, I've been with the bad girls. I don't need the headaches, I don't need the drama, I don't need a psychopath and or narcissist. The sex was fun, but after a while, you have all the sex, and you're like, okay, pussy is pussy. I need something to go with that. So are you
saying that you're ready to settle down now? You've had your fun.
Oh, I have fun, but my point is
basically he's saying,
we want the stripper. We want a girl that looks like a stripper that acts like a housewife, the unicorn. But when you have options, you get that. So I found a girl that had been around 3 weeks on Instagram. She was in a C market, Tucson. There's nothing in Tucson but tumbleweeds, right? There's nothing there except the University of Arizona and Lockheed Martin.
Right.
She's there, a Latina girl raised in Sonora, came in when she was 8. Beautiful girl. The men in Tucson drink beer, smoke weed, and play Xbox all day long. That's all they do, right? And I'm on Instagram. I'm like, oh my God, here's a girl that's going to compete, but she's not exposed to the A market city. She's not exposed to going back to this girl. She's not walking around with her shirt down here, her ass hanging out, twerking on Instagram, and she's got 267,000 followers. And every time she goes on a trip, she's in Dubai, Tulum, Playa del Carmen, Cancun. She's all over the world, and a guy paid for it. This woman right here that was doing this video, she doesn't make any sense. You know, she's picking out all the bad parts. What did you say, Paul? White knight? Is that what you said?
Yeah, the guy doing the voiceover is clearly a white knight. You know, making
he's a Lancelot.
Like
yeah. Right. So it's like, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, look, you can find all the negatives in something, but the girl's still getting action. She's still getting guys in her DM, right? Mm-hmm. You know, and you know, it's like, we're not saying don't have a nice body. We're not saying go out in public and dress nice. But when you dress like a hoe, you're going to get bad boys that want to treat you like a hoe.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you are your best. And then, you know, a businessman told me this one time, long time ago. You are your best business card. You are your resume. How you present yourself is your resume. So if you look like a bag of ass, if you dress like a slut, your resume says, hey, you know what? This girl takes dick in all holes. Okay? If you don't want your resume to be perceived that way, then don't present yourself that way.
Yeah, that's a situation where discovery trumps disclosure.
Oh, shit.
Right.
Thanks, Nuke. He was supposed to be on today. He couldn't quite make it today, but boy, he sent in a super chat. So thank you. I see.
Thank God, man, because my channel shows that this video is demonetized already.
Oh, of course. Same here.
But guys, send super chats to Thor, to anybody else that this is.
Anybody on the channel.
We're all demonetized right now.
Yeah.
When you say demonetized, you can't accept money now on your YouTube?
You can accept super chats.
Super chats is all we got.
They won't play ads. You won't get ad revenue for the video.
Right. Anymore. No ad revenue.
Really?
Yeah, because I open my mouth and I say a lot of shit.
Too soon. Yeah. We got
before the 8-minute mark. You got to wait for the 8-minute mark. That's usually the safe zone. That's the way I look at it.
It's okay though. I mean, you know what? We do this.
But you know what? We do this for the guys anyways.
Yeah.
So guys, send super chats.
Yep. Guys, I got a heart out in 10 minutes, so let's do some quick chop up on the good, the bad, and the ugly of the body positivity movement. Anybody want to start? What's your final thoughts, Glenn? What are you thinking? I know you got a lot going on, so we do have to
ask the cardio king, Paul.
The cardio king.
Yeah, let's go to cardio king first.
Oh, and by the way, on the guys, merch is available in the comments, both the 20% off, which is Freedom 20 on Paul Bauer's store. Also, you got my store there. You can get Rule Zero merch. Also, I have Power Lineman shirts, hats, all bunch of different stuff on there, guys. You got all that good merch that you can do.
I was gonna plug that. For Black Ice. Hey,
put it in the chat, guys. No problem. If you want to send it to me, I'll get it into the comments later. Everybody's there. All the links are there for everybody, but I don't have Black Ice. I didn't expect you today, but we'll make sure and have that in the queue anytime you come on. We'll get.
Hey, Dad, when it comes to you,
comments,
tell them about who you're competing with right now with that.
So the product I have is a nootropics product. It's cognitive focused, supplement. I take it because as I'm getting older, I'm finding myself like looking for words, latency with my speech, whatever. And so I was this guy who was banging out 2 energy drinks and a coffee in the morning, right? And then I go get my blood work done and my kidney levels are bad and my liver, and the doctor's like, dude, you're drinking too much energy drinks. Anyways, long story short, I started taking this nootropics. I added lion's mane in it, some other
lion's mane.
And it's basically, since I did that, all I see is this alpha brain, Joe Rogan. I wouldn't say I'm competing. I mean, that's a monster. That's like me saying I'm going to open an hamburger joint and beat McDonald's, right? But I'm taking this product. My income from the tech industry in corporate America has kind of went away because of what I do. I'm not getting any business. So this is my only form of revenue. The website's coming out, but it's not, it's not snake oil. It works. I take it.
Right.
I take 1 capsule a day. If I go on a podcast, sometimes I'll take 2, but it helps me. And so, it's over the counter. So it's going to be a product that I'll be selling, and the website should be out by the end of this month.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. We definitely have some channel sponsors over here on the Dragonship and RP Thor. We appreciate very much. We don't have a lot of time to run through the sponsors today, but definitely check our comments out. We're happy to support you with that too. Paul, what do you got? What's your final thoughts on this? Go ahead and take
It's like what I said at the beginning, you know, the body positivity movement is just, it's so bad for people. It's such a bad idea to push this because people are dying. You know, people are dying. We really need to, I think we need to get back to bullying a little bit, a little more, fat shaming. That I fat shame myself. It works. Okay. We fat shame people and start bringing the shame back. People might start considering things again. Instead of trying to make them feel better, let's actually make them better. Let's actually encourage them to work out. Let's encourage them to eat better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just things I got going on. Yesterday, I had an awesome live stream with porn legend Eric Everhard. Guys, check that out. Up your bedroom game. That guy is a wealth of information. His first book, the Unleash Your Sexual Superpowers, is life-changing. It's life-changing.
The cross T.
Yeah, his cross T technique is legit. You ever hear guys talk about, oh, you got to do the alphabet on a girl, you know, when you go down on her? Fuck that shit. Okay,
Yep.
The cross T technique's where it's at. Let's see here. Monday, I have Graybeard Actual. He's got a big following on TikTok and Instagram. We're going to be talking about masculine frame. And then don't forget, September, Las Vegas, Summer Smash. I'm going to put that jabroni Glenn Lawrence through a fucking table. All right. That's all I got.
Thank you, Paul. We really appreciate you, man. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Black Ice, what you got, man? Thank you for joining the Dragonship. We appreciate you, brother. And you got big beard game, so you're always welcome on the Dragonship.
Thanks, man. I just think that I think there's going to be a turn in events. I think eventually men are going to have to figure it out that, you know, being in shape, being healthy is going to be the way to go, right? Muscle gain, frame, right? The whole thing, money. I think that we have to encourage people to take care of themselves, men. That's their only way out. I mean, you know, back in the day, I always tell people, yeah, you can show up a lot of money and get a hot chick. Now it's like you have to be in shape. You have to have money. You have to have status. You have to have everything. You have to have all cylinders on the V8 firing, right? So I just feel that the more that we advocate for working out, like, you don't have to be this Greek god. I'm not in the best shape like I used to be. I still work out. But you have to surround yourself with people, positive influence. If I was going to the gym every day with Paul, eventually I'd do more cardio. You know, me and Glenn are working out with each other, not to be superheroes, but Glenn's going to show up. Shit, I got to show up, right? He said that to me. Glenn said
just
that
yesterday. We just said that yesterday.
And my girl competes, a wellness NPC champion, and that's, you know, I was in better shape when I met her, and now she's like, oh, when are you going to start working out? When are you going to start working out? So I just think that we have to influence people to be in shape, take care of themselves. You know, I love what Paul's doing. Thor, you're obviously got a gym in your background. You're a fit guy. Glenn, he's competed. I've competed. And I think the more we surround ourselves with people and be a positive outlook for people, a message, just get in the gym, do something. I don't care if you're doing Pilates. I don't care if you're walking 30 minutes a day. Just do something, because we sit behind these computers all day long, snack, eat, get fat and out of shape, right? And unhealthy.
If you're just not obese, you'll be in the top 25% of guys.
Boom. Good point, Paul.
And girls too. If you're a girl, you're not 25.
Yeah.
If you're under 25 pounds overweight, you rock. You can actually exercise your options above all the others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And or get the ring.
Yeah. What do I got going on? Well, me and Black Ice are training at the gym so I could bench press Paul Bauer and slam him through a goddamn table, because I'm going to come in, okay, and I'm going to rip that belt off of that pansy woman running man child in Colorado. He plays with the colors and he likes all the rainbow because he's a rainbow baby. So I'm going to take that belt and I'm going to snatch it from his little cute manicured nails, and I'm going to rock that belt, because let a real man wear that belt, because a real man deserves that belt. That's what's going to happen. So besides that, you know, we got a lot of shit going on out here. We have a lot of shit going down in Vegas. Stay tuned from everything from what me and Black Ice will be working on, me and Rolo, Access Vegas. Like we are collaborating and we're building a fucking solid ass team. And you know what? We're gonna be smashing this summer. This summer is going to be a smash. Not only at Summer Smash when I smash Paul Bauer and send him back home packing, but you know what? We're going to be dominating the game out here. So stay tuned. Access Vegas, Black Ice, Glenn Lawrence. We're all Rule Zero, Dragonship. We are all collaborating together, as you can see, and we're going to be bringing it together. The only thing we're not going to be collaborating with is when you come on girls' podcasts.
You guys think that we're just playing around with this fucking belt. We have a legit a match set up in September. We've Glenn's booked it with an actual wrestling promoter. We're going to be in a fucking ring. We are doing this. Okay. This is for real, guys. It's for realsies.
Yeah, this ain't no game. I'm throwing Paul out of the goddamn ring. Like this dead ass.
He's gonna try anyway.
The first thing I think of is out my back. I'm like, that doesn't sound too fun to me.
You know what? We're not worried about that. Okay, it's all about our pride.
It's all about the glory. It's about the glory
pride
of holding the undisputed world Manosphere Championship.
Right on.
Sounds good, guys. Hey, appreciate you guys coming on, but you ain't seen nothing yet when I show up with these two little children. We're going to really get them. I'll show them exactly how it's done as the superhero of the Manosphere.
All right, man.
Anyway.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, no worries, man. No worries.
Nice meeting you, man.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to do some more things together too. You know what's really good about the space right now is we're getting back to having fun, man. We got really serious for a while there, and that was okay. We needed to do it, and we got a lot of serious folks coming at us right now. So, we just smile and laugh and keep having that living the dream.
Boys,
we live that damn dream. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what really makes this exciting. Guys, I appreciate all the super chats today, all of the comments, appreciate the membership. I'm going to take you out with something special. In the next couple of weeks, I'll be dropping an actual book. That book is called A Dominant Masculine Presence. You don't want to miss it. It's coming out on Amazon very, very soon. And I think it's going to surprise a lot of you. As it's
great book.
Address,
I loved it.
It's going to address, thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's going to address some of those issues that everybody faces with the alpha, beta, gamma, sigma, and trying to segment this stuff, because there is something in each one of us men that reaches far beyond just those small container words. It is a presence that we project upon the world to bend reality to our will. You want to find out what that is? Take a look. I'm going to take you guys out. If you want a preview, there is an option. You can check out the video lecture on becomedurable.com, and here's how. See you guys next time. Bye.
Make sure you get your own copy of Thor's Dominant Masculine Presence Lecture. This is an hour-long lecture that teaches extremely valuable yet simple techniques that will help you to improve your dominant masculine presence. You will learn how easy it is to begin building the foundation for your masculine presence and make yourself into a dominant masculine man who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to go after it. So what are you waiting for? Buy now and start your journey and start building that dominant masculine presence and become the man that you always wanted to be.